Excellent. So tonight we are playing some BX or Basic Expert Dungeons and Dragons, Mold Bay. And we're using, oh, I forgot to grab it, some classes from the Black Pudding zines. So this is specifically Black Pudding number 2. They're great little zines. You guys can pick them up on Drive Through RPG. Kind of fun little classes that everybody can play. And this adventure is called the Necromancer of Ylourgne. And as we kind of start off here, this group of adventurers they're from the general area that they're headed back into now. The town of basically, if you were either born there or you grew up there, named Vons. And you've all been away for a couple of years, adventuring, establishing yourselves in the world, collecting treasure and fame and fortune, only to come back now. And in the last few weeks, as you've been traveling, you're hearing all kinds of stories about the dead rising from the ground where they were buried, even in sanctified, graveyards where they should be put to rest, and coming out of the ground. And unlike maybe horror stories that you had heard before, where they attack the living, or whatever, these dead just seem to be walking. They're walking to the west along the shore, following the river down. So as you come into, this has been going on for a couple of months. And as you come into your hometown there, Vons, you see that everybody, a lot of businesses are boarded up and people are kind of staying to themselves. Everybody seems a little bit distraught. And, being well-known, people from the town, either the barkeep or the somebody else is, addresses you. And we'll say you go to the tavern. That's where everybody would go, right? It's the D&D game. You start at the tavern. So as you're kind of coming in and meeting people or seeing each other maybe you haven't been together necessarily for the first time in a couple of years, let's go through and we'll introduce the characters. And from there, we'll figure out what you guys want to do. So I'm just going to go here for me. Start on my side here. So I'm going to go with Nikki. Tell us about your character first.
Okay. Gorbash is part barbarian, part fairy. One parent barbarian, one parent fairy. And don't ask me how that works. I don't know. But he is about 3'5" and very, very muscly. He's almost as wide as he is tall. And he has wings, although they've a little worse for wear after all the adventuring. He's very loyal. He has fiercely, emphasis on fierce, loyal to his friends and to the cause of bludgeoning evil into the ground wherever he can find it. He's generally happy-go-lucky, but when he gets into a fight, he vacillates to the other extreme of just a voracious fighter and likes to feel like he is punishing his enemies. Definitely leans into the barbarian side of his heritage. And this is Gorbash, the Fey Savage.
Excellent. So Gorbash, walks into a bar. A Fey Savage walks into a bar. That's the beginning of a joke, I think. And Crystal.
Walking into the bar from his home country, Astaglamate, is a large, what seems to be burrowing man-like creature who came from the land down under to make deals with these humans on these weird monkey creatures on the surface world. For we need more tools in our home country of Stalagmata. And that is Karzov Transalsevich. You can just call him Karzov.
Excellent. And Tony.
Not making a grand entrance at all is this tiny human female that appears to be in her early 20s. She's got a cloak around her, and the top of the cloak appears to be some type of, you would think, owl wings or something as they come out from her. And she pulls the hood up over her head, though, to hide her face more so. She's more at home with the creatures and the animals as she practices the art of summoning different type of monsters and creatures that can aid her and her friends. And she approaches and walks in behind the large and small people that just went in front of her. That is Thirstine, the summoner, and she turns around and looks towards the guy coming in behind her. She says, I'll get the door for you. I know you have trouble sometimes finding where you're at.
Excellent. And Yang.
You see a man in full plate armor and red cape graciously nod his head in gratitude as the door is open for him. Bruce Dane was a mild-mannered merchant when he found himself victimized by brigands that slaughtered his family. The experience was so traumatic he tore out his eyes with his bare hands. Thereafter, seeking revenge, Bruce traveled the world until he came upon a monastery that taught him how to hone his divine senses, to fight without walking into walls or falling off a cliff. Now, justice has a new name. Evil has a new bane. Bruce Dane, the Blind Guardian. I can see nothing, but I ain't gonna let nobody get hurt as long as I can see where the attack's coming from. That's my character.
Excellent. That's good. Yeah, excellent. We have quite a group. So yeah, you guys come in and you can see that this place is not as cheerful as you remember, and as you kind of approach the bar, you sit down to get a drink. Maybe one of the barmaids comes up to you and they say, I don't know if you picked a good time or a bad time to come back. We certainly could use someone to help figure out this problem, but I don't know anybody that wants to be here now. Everyone who has been stricken, especially those that are young and strong, immediately rise from the grave and walk to the west. Nobody knows why.
My friends, it seems that our journey's end is nigh. Yet, you will probably need my help once more to save your kingdom. Then we'll go back to my home country, and I get you a drink. I treat you like kings in Stala Maglia.
I don't know about all that, but certainly all this walking to the west, it certainly sounds like a party.
I gotta say, I like what I'm hearing. Well, it ain't right to let no children walk toward the grave. So I'm with you all.
Thirstine will look towards the barkeep and she will say in a low voice, she goes, is Gaspard around here?
I haven't seen him in a few days, but he has an apartment in the back. Are you? Oh yes, you were friends with Gaspard. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you went and knocked on his door. It's on the second floor, the last apartment.
Yes, thank you. And she turns to the other three and says, I shall return shortly. I have to see an old friend.
Of course. In the meantime, drinks on me. We shall have more of that human beverage you call, what is it? Mead.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, their drinks are flowing and stuff. They're trying to do the best business they can, all things considered. It's like pretty early in the day, so I guess people feel okay being outside, with no debt of walking currently. And Thirstine, so you can head back to the room, that was you were told that Gaspard is housed in. And you knock on the door, maybe wait a minute or something, and nobody answers. It doesn't seem to be locked or anything, but nobody's answering as well.
She'll open it, and put her head in. She'll pull her cloak back. I mean, her hood back, and put her head in, and just kind of, thinking maybe he didn't hear her, and she'll just go, Gaspard, Gaspard, are you home?
Okay, yeah. So you open the door and look in, and you can see through the kind of, there's a bit of light. It's middle of the day, like I said. There's a window in here with a kind of a like a blind that's like just made out of sheer. So there's some light coming in here. It's a bit dim, but you see a bed, looks kind of neatly made, and kind of a desk with some. It looks like it's very neat. Like there's books like neatly stacked up, like nothing's open or whatever. And there's a large kind of mirror on the desk, and it doesn't. Instead of having like you would think that a mirror would look having a reflection. You can actually see it almost looks like it's reflecting like smoke. And also, as you look in there, you can see on the bed there's a like a rolled up parchment, but you don't see him at all.
Yeah, she's going to write a note out for him and leave on his desk, and let him know she's back in town, and
Okay.
she'll just leave a note there, and then leave.
Okay. Yes, you go up and when you go up to the desk and leave the note, you see that mirror, the smoke seems to be like moving around inside of it. The vision of the smoke, basically, not actual smoke. But yeah, you can definitely do that. You come back up. And yeah, so back down at the bar, they're serving you. If you talk to people, they'll basically give you the kind of rundown that about 2.5 months or so, this originally started. They had been a portent that evil would come. So over the course of the last year or so, they'd actually been burning and eliminating in other means any witches and magic users and stuff that might live in the town. Because they kind of predicted this might happen. But even with that, with them all gone, either burned or fled, these bodies started rising from the earth. And at first, they were new deaths, like somebody died in the construction of the new chapel, a young man, and he was immediately, he's buried the next day, and then his body was gone. And then a few more bodies went, and then within a couple of weeks, like every grave practically of anybody who had died under the age of about 25 seemed to have been getting ransacked, and they started to leave guards out there because they thought maybe somebody was stealing the bodies, but they actually saw the bodies climb and rip their way through the soil themselves. And as noted, they don't seem to attack anybody. And when they tried to stop some of them by jumping on them and grabbing them, they just like struggle their way away and just walk to the west.
That's really weird.
Quite weird. Something must be up.
Yes.
Well, I was hoping the time here in my hometown is going to be relaxing one, but I reckon we'd have to head west and
Gorbesh
get to the
laughs
bottom
and
of this.
Yeah, he laughs and kind of smacks Bruce on his where he can reach. So what would it be, like his thigh? And say, "Yeah, I think west is the way we have to go. I'm with you there."
Well, when are we leaving?
Did the summoner already get back? Or is the summoner still coming?
Thirsty? Yeah, I would say, by the time all these stories, you can be back with the group now if you want. You weren't gone that long.
So, Karzov, I guess, would, just be like, as soon as the summoner, there she is, over here. Do you want to have a quick drink before we go? Drink on me. Get friend a drink.
Here, Karzov, I thought you'd like one of them tequilas. It's got worms in it. Want to try it? And he hands it over.
Warm.
Yep.
Yes, give drink to me.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah, he sniffs around the bottle and he smells the worm inside, and then he just takes the bottle and just starts chugging as fast as he can, just trying to get down to the worm, and then finally the worm slips out and down his throat, and he's just like, oh, oh, I have major hangover in the morning, but that worm was worth it.
Do y'all share the information that you were told with Thirstine about what's going on?
Oh yeah. I would think we would. Yeah. I
Yeah,
would.
after hearing that, she says, "I will be back in just a moment," and she wants to go to the bartender or barkeep and
Okay.
ask him. She says, "Can I? Is your kitchen very busy right now or something? I need a quiet place that I can borrow for about 5 minutes."
Um, the bartender says, "Well, there's a small. Do you need the kitchen itself, or you just need a space?"
Oh, just a space. It's not very crowded and not with my loudmouth friends who are trying to see who can drink the most.
Right, right. Well, we have a storage room where we keep the kegs here. I'll show you. And he brings you back, and it's like a small room where there's some like kegs and such. And he lights a candle and gives you like a little candle stick, and he says, "Just don't steal any." But I mean, clearly would be seen walking out with a giant keg, so he was joking.
Yes, thank you. And she's going to go in there and secure the door, and I am
Yeah.
going to use my contact over plane.
Oh, jeez.
So how does that work exactly? I looked at the spell, but I don't understand exactly what the different planes are.
So basically, the way this works, it's funny that they give you this spell. It's such a high level spell. Um, the deeper down the plane you go, the more basically godlike the creatures are. So like the chance that they'll know what you're looking for is higher, and the chance that they'll just lie to you is lower. But there's also the chance that you might go insane by trying to talk to them. So that's what the three columns are basically, and also you get more
Yep.
questions if you go to. Yeah. So um, so let's just look at it as well. So cast out blah blah blah. Off the creature will lie with the risk of insanity. Right. So yeah, I mean basically level above 11th. Okay, but you're low level, so you don't have that. You can use one for wheel. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's basically what it is. So you'll go if you happen to go insane, you'll. So let's say, for instance, if you contact something on the seventh plane and you go insane, you'll be insane for 7 weeks. So that's always fun. And of course, you have no way of knowing if they're lying or not. So, but I'll roll that secretly. And the number of questions you can ask is. I always thought that was weird. You could ask more questions at the higher planes, but I guess you're taking a risk. So.
Yeah, I'm going to try the fourth level plane. The
Okay. So
and
there'll
she
be a
starts
30%.
spreading. Yeah, she starts spreading her stuff out in front of her and going into this trance to try to contact.
Okay. All right. So you get into this room and you're, the candles starts to go brighter and brighter and brighter as you concentrate, and then it kind of drops down and like it's just barely just burning there, very very intense orange color, and you hear kind of a very soft voice that seems to be coming from nowhere yet everywhere at once, and it says, "What questions do you have for me?"
The first question I have is the news I have recently been discovered as we've returned to town is understand the dead are up and walking. Can you tell me what evil force is behind this?
Yes, yes. Well, evil is, of course, not something we consider down here. It has to do with the ley lines. The ley lines have been cracked, possibly by a new construction.
Yeah, she'll take note of that, and she says, well, my second question would be, what are the forces behind this using the newly undead far?
This I do not know.
Several different reasons there could be then. What about my friend Gaspar? I notice he is not here and they haven't seen him. Is he involved in this?
Gaspar has gone to the west. He saw something in the mirror before it went black and went to see if what he saw was true.
Oh, okay. And the last question I would have would be, what is the most dangerous thing that my friends and I will face as we go west?
There are many dangers. I cannot say what would be the most dangerous.
Thank you for taking the time to consult with me.
Let me say one last thing. And he's about to speak some word that would certainly twist your mind. But as he does, a breeze comes through under the door and the candle goes out and you don't hear it. So you do not go insane. Damn it. Yeah, and your seance has ended.
She goes back to the group and she says, before all of you get too much into your drink and your wisdom and your intelligence scores lower by quite a bit, I need to explain something to you. I've spoken with the other plane and I've asked about the evil force behind what is going on. I understand that possibly the ley lines have been cracked and it is some unknown. Either could be one or more evil forces behind this. My good friend Gaspar, the wizard here, has not been seen for a couple days, and the deity shared with me that Gaspar has gone west to investigate this also, and there will be many type of dangers we could face, but we need to be prepared and sharp, and I say we leave first thing in the morning after a good night's rest.
I mean, I do my best fighting in my cups, but if that's what you want, I will abide by your wishes, pretty lady.
So since you drank an entire bottle of tequila, go ahead and make a save versus poison there, Crystal. Karzov.
All right.
We'll see
I
how
think I
drunk
get
you are.
something on that. Yeah. I get a +2 versus poison, but it says inhale. I guess this doesn't count. It says
That's
versus inhaled poison, so I guess that won't count, right?
Right. I mean, I don't think you inhaled you inhaled it, but not literally.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. A 12, and you said it's say versus what?
Poison.
Poison.
Alcohol's basically
So
poison.
I made it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
poison. Right?
You are actually
I
not.
got a 6. And
Yeah, you're surprisingly not gonna be. You're not as drunk as you thought you'd be. You're thinking this tequila is nothing. Even when you ate the pump.
Well,
You know,
Carson, you're looking
tequila.
mighty good. You want another one?
Tequila good, but not as great as great potato whiskey we have home. When we go to home country, you shall have potato whiskey, he says as he laughs and kind of like pats your chest. We shall have great time.
Well, we ain't going nowhere until tomorrow morning, so why not? Another round of tequila and whiskey for my friend here. And he looks to Thirstein and says, well, I ain't no expert in no ley lines, but I'm with you about heading west, Thirstein.
Yes, I will see you in the morning. And she will retire herself to a room, but she wants to stop by Gaspar's room again on the way if nobody's watching.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty early, so there's not really anybody up there, and certainly, if you just give the signal, they'll basically, you tell them you want to stay for the night, they'll give you a room. But yeah, you can definitely get up there.
Yeah, and there's something she wants to do once she gets in there.
Okay.
Bruce has detect evil, basically, 40 foot in any direction. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. So as he looks around, well, he can't really because he's blind. Does he sense anything?
No, nothing particularly evil. In this place. You see that what you get here it basically is that there's a lot of scared people just trying to kind of make sense of what's going on. And people are being like extra paranoid because nobody wants to die. I mean, nobody ever wants to die, but they definitely don't want to be brought back as some kind of Walking Dead. So people are being like even more careful and more sensitive to things that might be dangerous. So you notice maybe a little hesitation in people, but when you use your sensing, you don't sense that there's any evil from that.
He tries to navigate his way to a table,
Okay.
of like carousers or revelers, and he walks up there and says, "Howdy, my name is Bruce Dane. How you doing?"
Okay, yes. So you approach. I mean, there's not that many people here now because, like I said, it's the middle of the day. But yeah, you there's a table of people that are there eating and drinking, and they kind of look up and they say, "Oh, you look familiar." Oh no, I guess everybody dressed in full plate walking around the bar looks familiar.
Well, it's me, Bruce Dane. I used to live in this town. About 2 years ago, that's when I left the town. Remember the
I
Dane
do seem
House
to remember
murders?
that. Yeah, the Danes. I remember the Danes.
Yeah, them
Yeah, some
brigands
people would
came
say
in.
they were great, but I'm not sure. You
Well,
tell me.
any Danes are great, I'd say. But anyway, if you could tell me a little bit more about these Walking Dead folks, that'll be great. Have you ever seen one?
I mean, you can't see them clearly, but you hear kind of like gulps. And they say,
He's like actually looking in a completely, different direction than where they're sitting.
yeah, and you hear them like, well, it's not good to speak of these things. Even the hallowed ground is not keeping the dead in. In fact, I heard that the farmers on the outskirts had a son die and they burned the body because they didn't want it to come back. And the ashes flew on the western wind.
But what about them temple folks? The priests and all? Have they looked into it?
Yeah, every Sunday, they talk about how it's, you got to be good and it's obviously the will of the gods. But I'm not sure I'm buying that. You think they could do something about this, but they seem to just be cowering.
Well, be glad that myself and some of my friends are here. We're going to look into it. We're going to head west and get to the bottom of it. So don't you folks worry none.
Well, we appreciate it, and it's good to know that a Dane will be great again.
My thanks. Where is the outhouse? And he
One of them
finds
gets
his
up
way.
and kind of like he like helps you to the back, which is basically where it is. Yeah, you definitely can get. He'll give you a hand, to get. No, not like that, but he'll give you a hand. Get to the. You get the rest of it once you get there
All
yourself.
right, he returns after that little visit.
Yeah. Okay. You were going upstairs, Thirstine.
Yeah, she's going to go in Gaspart's room, and as she walks in, of course, she knows that there's probably magical stuff in there, but she's going to cast detect magic, and mainly on that mirror, the smoky mirror.
Yeah, the mirror is definitely magic.
And she
It's
wants
some
to,
kind of scrying device, you would imagine.
yeah, I was going to say she wants to sit there and observe it for probably like even a turn up to 10 minutes. She'll sit there and observe to see if what changes on it or in it, or if she sees anything else in it.
Yeah. So you don't if you just observe it, like if you don't try to like use it to like locate, because it's basically like crystal ball. So it's kind of set on a location right now, observing it, so you can kind of look to see where he last kind of set it, if you will, dialed it in. And you watch it for a bit. It seems to every once in a while the mist starts to like become a little bit less gray, and you think something's going to come up, and then it just comes back up. I mean, you would imagine as a 4th level, spellcaster type, that this is somehow it's being blocked. Whatever he was trying to look at is being blocked by magic.
She'll look on like his desk and tables and stuff just to see if there's any notes that are just visibly there that he's made any kind of notes maybe right before he left or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you look and you can see just notably he has like some books that are like kind of like stacked up neatly to the side, and there's some kind of that are a little bit more in the middle. And what you do notice is there's a book on necromancy.
Yeah, she's going to take it with her and read. She'll read it in her room. And when she leaves his room, is there any way for her to secure it? I mean, is there a key she can find to lock it back up, or?
Yeah, there's actually a key like in the door. So like if you took it out, and then you can go around the other side and close it and use the key.
Yeah, she'll lock and secure his room up then, knowing that he's not going to be back anytime soon.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. So just to because you had the spell cast, this book is not magic. It's just a book about necromancy. So it's not a spell book, but yeah, it's about the nature of it and stuff like that. So
yeah, she'll take it, read it that evening while she's in her room.
Okay, perfect. Anybody else want to do something tonight in the bar or in the town?
Karzov, he calls the whoever's in charge of the bar over, and like he's like scratching through his fur as he waits on him, and pulls a tick and kind of look at it between his claws, then eats it, and finally when whoever owns it gets there, he's going to tell them, yes, look, I am an adventurer, I have lots of money, I need you to do me a favor. 2 favors. First of all, he says, first of all, in morning, make sure all my companions have big breakfast. Breakfast, most important meal of day. Second, I need a big plate of worms. Pay you whatever you like. Need a big plate of worms in the morning.
Okay. No problem. Kind of nods. And he goes back, to the bar. And then he actually talks to one of the waitresses who leaves.
Okay. That's all he wants.
Okay. Anybody else?
No. Gorbash just wants to keep drinking.
Yeah, you guys, you revel in your return home and imminent departure to the west, into the wee hours or whatever, and you're able to get into bed, without too much trouble. You will say you don't get into any fist fights or anything. Reading the book, Thirstine, you see that there's a lot of philosophy about it, like whether or not necromancy is actually evil, and like what's the point and the uses of it and things like that. This author seems to think that it definitely is evil, because you're not giving the souls their choice, bringing them back like this. And there's some thoughts about things you can do to actually release souls that are trapped via this, but none of them are actually spells. They're mostly just theory. So you think like you could probably use this material to kind of craft a spell, but it would take a while to do it. So there's no like actual spells.
Yeah, she'll the next morning before on the way out, when she gets up, she'll drop the book back by and leave it on his desk where she found it.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. And your note is still there clearly, so it doesn't look like anybody's been in the room. Everything's kind of the same. The books are there. The mirror's there. It's still gray. There's still that scroll on his bed. His curtains are still like drawn, but with the shades. And yeah, are you gonna lock it up, or are you gonna?
Yeah, she'll lock it back up.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Yeah, you come down in the morning, guys, and yeah, sure enough, there's a big breakfast, ready for you, just like at McDonald's, and a big old bowl of worms, and they look pretty good, tasty.
When
The
the-
local worms.
When the morning comes and first light hits Bruce's room, he opens his eyes and he bolts up and says, "My lord, I can't see! I can't see!" And then he says, "Oh, of course I can't see." And then he comes downstairs.
Still getting used to it. All right. Yeah.
Gorbash asks Karzov, "Those actually don't look too bad. Can I try a big juicy one?"
My friend, please, what I have is your have. That is how it works in my home country of Stalagmata.
So he tries a worm. He's like trying to be nice about it. He's like, "Oh yes, delicious." He chokes it down.
Yes, very, very.
By the sound of it, you're eating some of them worms too, Gorbash?
Yeah, I thought I'd try one. I mean, they look okay. Oh, sorry, I know you can't see them, but they do. They look nice.
Well, at least I would say cook them first before you eat them.
Yeah, I think I found that out a little too late.
So
Grilled worm. You have had grilled worm before. Yes, delicacy.
the servant girl is kind of standing nearby, and she hears that. She says, "Well, I hope that they're good. I spent the later part of the afternoon in the graveyard digging them up from those areas." And she walks away.
Nice.
The same graveyard where the undead people have been walking out.
Well, I mean, that's where the best worms are.
Oh,
Agreed.
Speaking of worms, Karzov, you ever heard about them purple worms?
Purple worm. Where I come from is delicacy. We get all peoples together. We go out and we hunt purple worm in Great Cavern. Doom Cavern. I take you there one day. We have a great time.
Well, shucks. I thought you never ate them before, but oh well.
Oh, yes. Purple worm, great feast for entire city.
I gotta try it sometime. And he nods.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So you guys gather together your stuff, whatever you might need. If there's something else that you need to collect equipment wise, and you're going to head west.
west.
Yeah. From the information that you got, basically, you could follow the main river here, which runs, due west, out to the shoreline. Actually, you would. After a day or so of travel, you're going to get to what's called about a day and a half travel. You'll get to what's called the Werewolf Wood. So you start off, and it starts to get rugged at that point. So basically, you're going to travel this first day or so, pretty much in farmland. There's definitely some wooded areas and a kind of wilderness, but it's not like deep wilderness by any means. So it's, relatively safe, you would imagine. The first day passes with no problems. I mean, you're still kind of in this farmlandy area. So you set up somewhere. If you want to do like a watch or whatever, that's good for nighttime if you want.
Yeah, and Thirstine would like to have like maybe second or third watch during the night because she wants to do something then.
Okay.
I'll take first watch if no one else has a preference.
I shall take darkest part of night. Makes me feel bored.
Bruce is blind, so he really can't watch.
Okay, so go. Oh man, you're one step ahead of me there. He can't get you. Yes, I will have a wandering monster attack when a blind guy's on guard, just like I will have Crystal's pregnant character gets killed. All right, that's cool. 3 watches is fine. All right, yeah. So you guys set up to do your watches, and yep.
But if Bruce were attacked, suddenly he'd be able to see.
Right, you just wouldn't see him coming.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I guess he could sit and try to sense evil. for
No,
for
I'm
duration,
kidding.
right?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Well, you probably can do all that, and you're a badass fighter, but they really don't know that. So they're probably like, "Ugh."
So you get extra sleep.
So right, they're like, we'll wake you up for a watch. Don't worry about it. And then in the morning you get up. They skipped you. All right. So yeah. So the night passes with no real incidents. What does third scene want to do?
On the conjure animals, like if she
Yep.
conjures, she can conjure a certain kind, and can she speak to them? Like I guess, like have a telepathic or not?
Let me look. Because there is no real conjuring themselves. I will say that you can speak to them, but they really can't speak back to you. You know, they can do like basic stuff, like like Lassie.
Would she
But yeah,
be
they
able
don't.
to? Well, would she be able to conjure one and like give it some thoughts of what she's thinking, and maybe the next day it would fly in the direction she's asking it to?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to do that. She wants to conjure like an owl or
Okay.
something, and her question to it or thoughts to it is if it's seen these dead walking and if it will lead them in the direction that the dead are going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty legit. You can definitely do that. Yeah. So you do that. You sit and you meditate on it in an owl lands, and you kind of speak to it. It seems to understand on some level, and yeah, it flies out in the direction west, and yeah, you guys all get up, and you start traveling in the morning. Again, it's pretty decent land. About 1 o'clock ish, noon, 1 o'clock ish, you kind of find yourself at close to the edge of what they call the werewolf woods. This is now the beginning of like a wilderness where it could become dangerous. You could camp here, of course, where you'll lose a lot of time, or you could continue, but you'll definitely be camping in the woods if you do that. That's kind of up to you. At that point, the owl has not come back yet.
All right.
So it's kind of like if you want to wait here to see if the owl comes back with information, or do you guys want to trudge into the woods?
But it definitely continued west, the direction we've been going.
Yeah, it flew out, and you basically said, I mean, I took the command as to fly out, find the dead, and fly back and report. So it hasn't flown back yet. So it hasn't found them yet. You would imagine it either hasn't found them yet, or it's somehow not alive anymore, or something happened to it. But you have no way of really knowing that.
Yeah, I would just continue. Let's continue then until maybe it'll find me.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So you guys, it's much slower going through the woods. It's pretty easy to follow the direction though, because you know that this river that you've been kind of following the whole time goes due west towards to the shore, so to the seashore. So you know that just by following this, and you're going in that direction at least. When you travel, yeah, so you travel until it starts to get towards the end of the day. And right around that time, the owl comes back. It lands, and it doesn't have like any sign of the dead. Like it doesn't. I mean, you don't know. Like it maybe you told it to bring something back, a piece of it, or some sign. It doesn't bring anything back. So, and it just kind of stands looking at you.
Yeah, I'll have it just during the night, set up out on the perimeter and keep watch then with me. Like,
Okay.
to give a hoot if something wants to come in on us, because it can, see better further out than I can.
Yeah, for sure. I also can definitely see better. So you guys want to do the same watches again?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, and I would have it set out on everybody's watch,
Yeah, sure. I mean, it'll need to sleep. I mean, you might imagine that it slept during the day, like it might have flown out, slept a bit, then you don't really know what the owl was doing. You just know that it didn't bring any sign back. So, but you also know, I mean, at fourth level that it understood you enough that it would have done it if it could have. So you're not sure why it didn't, but it did not bring any sign back. So it might be further away, but there's a lot of reasons. Okay, cool. So the night in Werewolf Wood. Everybody roll a d6.
I got 4.
Yay.
got-
You're
I
sleeping.
got a 1.
4.
I had a 2.
Excellent.
As the night falls, I mean, you hear Bruce saying, I reckon them werewolves is all gone nowadays. That Klaus fella did a bang-up job. But I doubt resting in werewolf woods is going to be a good thing.
Hey, Daniel, before we go to the next part, when Kozlov sleeps, could he dig a tunnel under the soil so he could have a little hole he could sleep in underground?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Your class says you can dig pretty fast, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
20 feet around. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you dig down into the ground and sleep a bit, and then they wake you up for the middle part of the night. And you're on duty, when you hear the owl, hoot, 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 and you like sniff the air, get a sense for maybe something's around you. And I mean, your vision is not great, but
my vision's not great, but I think I can. No, I'm sorry, that's only underground, I think.
Well, you have tremor sense, basically. So
yeah, but that only works underground.
Yeah, or something's really close to you, I'd imagine. But
yeah.
So you know the owl's saying something, has seen something, but you have no idea what it is at this point, because you can't really sense it. You get the feeling the owl is saying something, but of course nobody speaks owl, and you can't see anything. So what you want to do?
He's feeling a bit open here. What he wants to do is crawl back to his hole, and he wants to basically like sniff the ground around the hole and feel the ground for like tremblings and stuff. So that way he's partly in the hole he's made, and he's just kind of sticking his head out like a mole would and sensing the earth around him.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, probably a little bit too late. You get the scent of a canine in the air as your camp and everybody's sleeping in it currently is overrun by wolves. So everybody that's asleep is about to get chewed on. I guess they're going to hit you automatically because you're asleep, but I won't make it instant death because that'd be mean.
See, that's proof that Daniel would sick dogs on a blind man. Because, I mean, cars are technically blind.
Yeah, you're definitely getting... you can defend yourself because you're awake, but nobody else can. So everybody who's asleep will take... I'll just put one on each of you. Oh, my God. 6 points of damage.
Oh, jeez.
As you are bitten into and awoken by wolves.
Short game. Ugh.
The mole... hold on, these things surprised you. I actually rolled a 1, so they would have surprised you anyways. You're getting attacked as well, but they have to actually attack you. Oh, I don't think that hits you though. Wolf. That hits only... No, it doesn't. It only hits armor class 9. So that misses you, right?
Wow, yeah. I have a +1 deck, so yeah.
Yep. And they only get the one attack with the bite. So yeah. So you somehow you back into your hole as this wolf bites at you, but everybody else screams out in pain or whatever as you're attacked in the night by wolves. Okay, so let's do side initiative, and we'll see what happens. Go ahead and roll a d6 there for your group there, Crystal. 5 for the wolves.
5 for the people.
5? Okay, so it's going to be simultaneous. So I'll let you guys go first, but if any of the wolves die, they're still going to get to do their action. So I'm just going to go in the order I have unless somebody wants to jump out of order. Gorbash, you got a wolf on you.
Okay, he's really angry about being woken up this way, but also kind of excited too because he likes to fight a lot, so he gets his big smile on his face. He's going to go into a barbaric rage, which is once per combat you can make 3 attacks in a single round. And he's going to pull out his sword. I don't know if these are lycanthropes or not, but the sword does +2 to lycanthropes.
These are not.
Okay. He's still going to pull out his sword.
Yeah. Go for it. Make your 3 attacks.
Okay.
These are just regular wolves.
Okay, so that would be. Let's look at my attack matrix here. 16. So armor class 1,
Mm-hmm.
armor class
Okay.
3,
Yep.
and armor class 4.
Yeah, those all hit.
Okay.
Do yourself 3 times damage.
6, 8. So, and on each hit, do I get my attack or my damage bonus?
Yeah, you attack. You get a bonus for the sword and also for your strength if you have a strength bonus.
Yeah. Okay. So 6 plus 1, 7, 9, 18, 21 points of damage.
Holy shit. So you get bit into and you just like spin around and just like a Ginsu knife this like wolf and it just like is in pieces. The just like blood is just shooting everywhere.
Yeah, I rolled like a 6 and an 8 and
Nice. Okay, so in the hole, Karzov.
Yeah, Karzov is gonna. All right. So what Karzov wants to do is reach out, grab this wolf, and pull him into his hole in the ground.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna make an.
So you get 2
attack roll
attacks. I'll do
for-
just like animals would do. If you hit both claw attacks, I'll let you do some kind of thing where you can pull them in.
I can't do 2 claw attacks.
Oh, you don't get 2 attacks? Okay.
That's not till 5th level. I'm 4th. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Then what we'll do is you can just, if you want to do a grapple attack, then we'll do it the way that works, which is make an attack and then you roll your hit dice against their hit dice.
Nat 20.
Okay. So
So
roll a
definitely
d6.
grab them.
Yep.
Okay.
So roll a d6 for each of your hit dice. So 4, basically.
Okay. Total of 16.
Oh yeah, for sure. You grab this thing and drag it in. So it's in there
Nice.
with you. Yeah. And it's freaking out a little bit, of course, because now it's being pulled into a cave. 13.
There's 2 things she wants to do. Maybe is this wolf that has bit her. She wants to jump up and cast a spell on it, but she also wants to think in her mind real quick if she would have maybe make an intelligence check or something to know if she would have knowledge that maybe sometimes wolves come ahead of a lycanthrope before they attack.
Yeah, I mean, being your class and everything, I would say that you would know that. Yeah, that is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, she'll this wolf had really bit into her and damaged her very bad. She reaches out with her hand though and she touches it on the top of it and she goes, "You will not be bad to people who mean you no harm again." And as you see her hand starts glowing the yellow and the orange like in her photo as I'm casting light in the eyes of this wolf.
Oh, nice.
And then she's just going to yell out at the others. She's going to go, there may be...
Hold on, how do you have a light spell?
I get 2 spells.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep. And I rolled random. I got Detect Magic and Light.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then she just yells out at the party. She goes, there may be everything's coming. These wolves may precede one of the beasts that turn at the night, much like the name of these woods. So be careful.
Okay, so it gets a save, though, because you're trying to blind it, right?
Yep, gonna try to blind it.
Okay. All right. 12. It's save. Monster saves. Where are you? They usually save as, oh, you have to look at the monster for this. They usually save as fighters, but let me just make sure that's the case. Normal wolf. Oh, actually, this bit of saves are here. So its spell save is 16, so it fails. So that wolf is blinded. So it
All
cannot
right,
attack.
perfect.
It's blinded. It yelps out. Sound the dog makes when I get sound. And finally, Bruce.
Bruce gets up. He's screaming and he's going, "Ow, stop biting me. I'm a blind feller. You ain't gonna eat me for dinner, I say." And then he's gonna slash at the nearest wolf with his mighty sword. +2 blind justice.
Nice.
And I hit armor class 3.
That hits.
Okay. And I believe a longsword is 1d8 plus
That's correct.
2 plus 1 for his strength. So he does 7 points of damage on that creature.
Nice. You cut deeply into the wolf that yelps out but does not die. At this moment, let's do another thing. So since everybody was asleep, is it in this one? Hold on, I think it's in number 3. We have to see what state you guys are in as far as armor and stuff. Well, I guess if you don't have armor, then I think only one of you wears armor, right?
I was gonna say I'm in my little fur undies here, or leather undies.
Yeah.
So
I think it's only because your character doesn't wear armor either, right, Tony?
Nope.
So it's just young. Okay, so let's see what state you're in. What did I just do with it? Like putting, I think it's in number 3.
That's that chart we used in 1,000 Towers, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yep. Okay, so this is the what do they call it? The rigors of readiness chart. All right, so how ready are you? So let's see, roll a d6 here to see how dressed you are.
Go. Oh no, it fell down. I got 1.
1. You don't even have your pants on, so you're basically making it.
Don't
right,
bite me there.
Yeah, you jump up and grab your sword, and that's basically all you're wearing currently. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they get an eyeful, but you don't get an eyeful because you're blind. All right. But they're all going to get to go now because it was simultaneous initiative. Okay. So the one on the Fae is dead. He died last round, actually, right? No, he died this round. So he still gets an attack on you.
Mhm.
9, which hits AC 8.
My AC 7.
Okay, so that misses you. Okay, and then on the mole, 12, which hits AC 5. That hits you, right?
Am I not grappling him?
Yeah, but he can still attack you.
Okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, he's not trying to get away. You pulled him in the hole, he's just going to bite you. I mean, it's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was a person with a sword or something, they couldn't attack you, but a dog can bite you when you're holding it.
I just thought when they were grappled, you could control, get them from hitting you or something.
No, usually when you're grappled, you can attack with either your fist or with a dagger or something. But I mean, an animal's guy, he's just going to bite. Anyways, a roll of 1, so it doesn't hit you. Yeah, otherwise that would just be.
Daniel, I got a quick question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
I got an ability called Shield of Light. It absorbs any attack damage against an ally, either by physical attack or spell, within 40-foot radius because he's 4 times a day. Does that? I mean, do I have to use my action to do that, or does that just kick in whenever I declare it?
No, we kick in when you declare it. Yeah, that wouldn't be your action. So you can just do it whenever. But nobody's been hurt yet. I mean, unless you want to do it for the wolf. But that's good to know. Yeah, you can just call it out. It's not a problem. So yeah, it's not your action. And finally, no, not finally. That was that one. That was the one on you. Now the one on is blind, so it can't attack the summoner. And then finally, the one that you just took a big chunk out of, you're standing there with your sword out, and amongst other things, it's going to try to bite you with a 15. Well, you have even with a dex bonus, I think it's still going to hit you, even if you had a good dex bonus. That's armor
Got a
class
dex
2.
penalty of 2, so his effective AC is 12.
So it jumps up and bites something on you. For 5 points. I mean, you are naked, so. Yeah, it takes you can figure that out for yourself. Okay, and that's the end of that round. Actually, how long? Yeah, okay, staying on the shadows now. Going to the next round. Let's roll initiative. We'll just do the same thing as last time. We'll just have the one person roll for the whole combat. So Crystal. God, they got a 6. Well, wolves are fast, so you can't really.
We only got a 4.
Okay, so they're just straight up going first. Okay, so they first one Okay, so out of the shadows steps a much larger figure. It is like a man, but covered in hair, with kind of a snarling, wolfy face, and it steps out. Like since you just slaughtered one of its babies, it steps out in front of the barbarian, but doesn't attack you this round. Just gets moving into combat.
Okay.
The wolf that is on the mole misses by a mile. I guess your grappling's working because you rolled a 1 and then a 5. And then finally, the wolf on the naked blind man. Ooh, 15. Wow, you're getting beat by these wolves. Ooh, 4 points. Oosh. All right, you take 4 points of damage, John.
He screams out loud, "Ow!" But he's still standing, just barely.
All right. We don't want you to die before you get to the actual adventure. All right. This is very exciting. It's your turn now. So yeah, standing kind of just slightly out of your reach, so you'd have to take a couple steps forward. Gorbash is a what might be described as a wolf man.
Okay.
And also, if you don't want to engage that, there's a wolf that's kind of well, you see its ass sticking up out of a hole because the mole is dragging it into the hole. And there's another wolf that is biting your naked blind friend.
Okay.
So all those are within your range if you want to move to any of them.
Okay. Well, his wings are fluttering in excitement, and he says, "Oh, you look fun!" And he's going to go for the wolf man.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? 15 plus 2, 7. So hits armor class 0.
Oh, that hits.
Okay. I only get the 1 hit this time, but I have a plus 2 on the sword, right?
Yep, +2 because it's electing to it. Plus your strength.
6 points of damage on him. Oh no,
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry, 8 points plus my
Oh,
strength.
geez, even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You cut deeply into this thing, and it howls out. It's also basically naked. So if you imagine, like Young's character on one side is basically like the hairless version of what you're looking at over here, but with a sword. And
Nice.
then we go to Karskov.
Karzov is in the hole with the wolf, and he says,
Yeah. If you want to attack it, you'll get a +4 because you got it grappled.
okay, oh, cool. Let's see. Wow. Okay, so he's in the mole. He's in the hole with the wolf, and he says, never wrestle with a drunken Malaya, mate, especially underground. And then he stabs it with his claws. I roll a 22, and
Nice.
Does 7 points of damage with his claws.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, it's not dead, but it is definitely hurt. It yelps out in pain, like a poor little puppy that you're hurting. You mean person.
As I slowly rake my claws across its throat, cutting it slowly.
Right, and you see the. You're lucky that Russia's not playing because Russia's very much a dog person. He'd be very sad. All right, so the blah blah blah. Terstein, you basically see all this stuff going on. No animal is currently on you. Well, there's the one, but it's blind and it doesn't seem to be able to.
How many other normal wolves are still up?
So there are. Well,
Besides,
there's one that you can see.
Not about the one Karzov, but the ones that are actually on the ground.
There's one that's blind and one that's not. So there's one that's on the blind. It's funny. You blinded your wolf. That's still there, but it's not doing anything. It's kind of like running around in circles. And then there's one other one that's standing up fighting your blind warrior, the blind guardian. So
yeah, I'm going to look at it. It's seeing the leader of the pack show up. I'm going to look at the wolf that is on the blind guardian, and I'm going to speak in its mind. I'm going to try to use my take control, and get a save versus spells minus my charisma modifier, And I have a +1 to charisma.
Okay, so 14. So then it gets a 13, and it's versus spells, you said,
Yep, versus
which is
spells.
16 save, so it fails.
And I'm going to control it. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I know you are innocent. You have been told and controlled by an evil creature that has now arrived. Go and attack your master. And I'm going to take control of that wolf and make that wolf attack the werewolf, I hope. And it will
Okay.
control last for 1d4 plus my level rounds.
Okay, but it's actually it's like a charm person, right? Basically.
Well, now if it's immune to charm, it's if it is immune, is this
No,
not
it's
immune to
not.
charm, is it?
But I'm saying does it say it's like charm person, or is it just so that you can control it? I'm just trying to figure out how.
Well, it just says take control. Once per day, you can attempt to seize control of monsters within 40 feet, save versus spells to void, cannot control with hit die greater than your level, nor control creatures immune to charm.
Oh, okay. Then I'll say that it does it. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it'll have to go on its turn, but it will. It's going to turn. It's not. Actually, it is. Its turn. After. Well, no, it's not, because they won initiative. So actually, you got. When it's its turn next round, I guess is what I'm saying. I said that very unclearly, but when it's its next turn, it will do it. Okay.
Yep, that works.
But you know that you've seized control of it. It is standing. I mean, I don't think that. What's your wisdom? And you're blind. I'm not sure you know the wolf's under control, though, blind guardian. If you want to make a D20 roll under your wisdom to see if you realize this thing's not attacking you anymore.
Okay.
Young.
My wisdom is 14. I just rolled 16.
Okay, so you don't know that. You think this thing's still attacking you. So, I mean, in all likelihood, you would probably attack it. But that's up, yeah. So it's your turn.
Okay. All right. And he's going to hit armor class 11.
No.
Yeah, and he's going to say,
That's not even an
gonna
armor
bite
class.
my family jewels, you ain't. But he misses wildly.
Armor class 11. That doesn't even exist. Okay. Yeah, you missed wildly, which was actually good. You were probably hoping to miss for that. Okay. Yeah. And now that's the end of that round. So now we will.
Young's playing BX Advanced 1.2.
Yeah, exactly. 4, Crystal. You're muted if you're talking.
5.
Okay, you guys go first. Garbash, you've got the werewolf in front of you.
Yep, gonna swing at him. You want some more? Oh, I've missed terribly.
Okay, it leaps out of the way. Garskov, you're kind of grappling and stabbing this wolf in front of you.
I shall continue to grapple and stabble this wolf in front of me. That's 17. Again, I should have hit it with that. And 6 damage.
Okay, yeah, that takes it out. You jam your claws into it, and it stops fighting.
And he lays it down. And he pats its head and says, "I shall bury you later."
Okay, cool. It's your turn again, Thirstine. The wolf hasn't gone yet, but it will eventually.
Yeah, she's just gonna. All she's doing right now is concentrating on that, controlling the wolf. That's all for now.
Okay, makes sense. And Bruce.
Bruce is gonna grab his shield, and he's gonna basically fortify himself. And he realizes that has the wolf disengaged from him or not?
No.
Is he okay?
No. The wolf still. For as far as you're concerned, the wolf's still attacking you.
Okay, all right. Then
He hasn't had a chance to go yet.
Yeah, he's gonna attack the wolf then.
Okay.
And I end up hitting armor class 7.
7.
Yes.
Did I just close the wolf page? 7's its armor class. Yeah, do damage. Oof.
Ooh, and he does 11 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Wow, nice.
The wolf turns, though you can't tell because you're blind, to charge at the werewolf, and when it does, you swing down and chop it in half. Oh, sadness.
Thirstine
Yells
yelled,
out.
Thirstein yells out at Bruce, "You should have worried about putting some clothes on and covering that up."
Yep, you said it. And he, as he slashes down the wolf, he says, "Blind justice is blind."
Excellent. Okay, so everybody's gone. That one wolf is blind. It's wandered off, essentially. I mean, it's like running around. It's basically not there anymore. All that's left is the werewolf. It just lost its whole pack, so it's going to actually roll morale to see if it's going to stay here. Oh yeah, no, the werewolf is like you chopped into it very firmly the first time with that magical sword, and then the second time you kind of missed and it like stepped back a little bit to avoid the blow. It like looks, sees the wolves that it had sent to kind of weaken you guys have all been slaughtered, and it runs. So yeah, it sprints off, and you can tell that this thing is much faster than you.
Okay.
So it's probably not worth chasing it. I mean, you can chase it if you want, but you can. I mean, it's a wolf. It's way faster than a human. So.
No.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. All right. So, yeah.
I will laugh
All's
at it.
quiet
Oh,
again.
yeah, you run. You run.
You basically intimidated off a werewolf. That's pretty good.
The
Not bad
naked
for 3.5
man collapses down on the floor, and he's panting and he's bloody all over, and he's barely alive with 1 hit point.
Oh my god.
Gorbash
There's
goes
no
over
better way
to
to enter a dungeon.
he goes over to Bruce and he says, "Well, you may have taken a lot of hits, but you sure looked good doing it." And he like nods his head admiringly, like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. Congratulations, buddy."
Well, eyes up here, fella. Eyes up here.
So hard to tell. I mean, I'm so short. I can't. I mean, really, my eyes. There's only one place they go.
Karzov comes out of the hole, and he starts as best he can, kind of like filling around on the ground, and he's gonna grab each of those wolf bodies and like drag them to that hole and throw them down in there, whether the others help him or not, and then he'll like use his dig ability to like fill the hole back in so he can like pack it down.
Okay, we can definitely do that. So you saw your shadow and you hid.
Yeah.
Already got 200 pieces.
So I know we're in these woods, but do we need to wait? Because Bruce, you're pretty beat up. Do we need to rest?
Yeah, I mean, it's still the middle of the night, so you're probably not. It's not very safe to travel in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
And just mechanically, like if you want to travel at night, you're going to possibly encounter more stuff than you would if you stayed put.
Yeah.
And you would probably know that. I mean, you're certainly welcome to do it. You do occasionally see like this, like these like flashes of light run by, and like a wolf going "Woo, woo," as its head's all lit up.
Oh, my protector will alarm us of anything also in the trees.
All right.
Yeah, and you guys can rest the rest of the night. Nothing else seems to happen. Yeah, in BX you don't get any hit points back unless you're in safety. So
Okay.
you feel rested, but you're not going to get anything back mechanically. So now is the countdown to see how long Bruce can live with 1 hit point. It could be that he's the only one that survives in the end. This has happened before.
That would be pretty epic. That would be, yeah.
Well, my fellas, I don't feel too confident leading the party. I'm just gonna follow y'all back here.
Why would we let you lead? You can't see.
Ain't never seen no blind leading the party before.
This is no problem. You hang back. I shall take front.
Another
Well,
half
you
blind.
have my thanks, Karzov.
I'll be right behind Karzov because all these blind people trying to lead me around.
Okay, so you guys get up in the morning, and I mean, you think you could probably follow the trail to follow the werewolf, but that I'm not sure if that's what you want to do. But you think you could do it?
I'm
If
gonna send
not,
the owl. I'm gonna send the owl out again to look for the dead also that morning.
okay, for sure. So you send the owl out and it flies out, with instructions basically to come back at the end of the day or with some sign of the dead if it can find them. And you start off, you know, going through this dark forested area. And it's kind of a long trudge through the day, but just as kind of the sun is starting to set, it's starting to get really dark and dank in the woods. You break from the tree line and you find yourself kind of on this ridge looking down into a deep valley. The river that you've been following is like a waterfall down into the valley and then continues forward. And when you look to the left of you, which would be, hold on, you're traveling west. See if I know my directions. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. When you look to the south, you see like a monastery, clearly a monastery cut into the side of this cliff. And then there's like a deep valley. It's about a mile and a half wide. And then coming up on the other side, you see what appears to be an ancient ruined castle. And you can see, you just glint coming at you quickly through the air, an owl. And it seems to be flying directly from that castle area. Like it was sitting on the battlements until you came, and then it flies to you. The castle itself, you can see that you think you're making out just the little slightest bits of glow in some of the upper windows, but otherwise there's not much movement around it. And you don't see any, it looks ruined. There's no soldiers or anything like that. And you don't see the dead either. So you're basically like castle, monastery, valley. So what you want to do?
What do you guys think?
I do believe that is the location we're probably trying to find. I see the owl coming this way.
Do I sense any evil nearby?
Not within 40 feet. But yeah, I mean, you definitely feel like everybody gets this chill that you've found something that's relevant for sure.
To the castle. You said the castle, Thirstine, the owl was on the castle?
The owl was on the battlements of the castle, and then it flew towards you. And it kind of flies and does like a few loops and kind of lands or whatever. It can't really talk to you, but that's where it was. It doesn't have any sign with it, but it was sitting on the castle. And that's over here. Basically, because of the time of day it is, before it gets dark, you could either basically just get to the castle or just get to the monastery. That's kind of unless you can obviously travel in the dark as well. For two of you, you already are traveling in the dark, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Well, what do you think, Thirstine? Should we go the way from which your owl came?
Yes, I believe that's where we should go first.
All right, I'm down.
Okay, yeah, definitely can do that. So you make your way down into the valley, with the intention to head out in that direction towards this castle. It's pretty lush around where clearly there's a waterfall and there's plants and things growing around it. But then as it starts to slope up towards I guess I should also mention that the sea, the outer sea, is like just past the castle. You put the castle right at the edge of the sea. That's how they did. So as you're getting up there, it's more craggy and like rough, and it's a little bit. It's not, you don't have to make any checks, and nobody's going to fall or be hurt or anything, but it's definitely slightly slow going because it's not easy to climb. They put a castle in a place that's hard to get to. It looks like there may have been a road leading to it at one point, but the roads could be like demolished over the years. So you're kind of going up more or less, kind of climbing up a rough side of a mountain, essentially. So by the time you get up to like a flatter area where you could approach the castle, the sun is set completely, and the moon not having come out yet. It's pretty dark out, and you can definitely now make out in the upper kind of parts. There's a couple like towers. You can see just like flickering, like a glow, like a faint glow in the upper parts.
Right before dark, could we? I guess it'd probably just, of course, be me and Gorbash, unless Could we like looked and see if we saw any trails of like a lot of footprints, maybe from the undead?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you do actually. You as you're looking, it's pretty rough, and you take what you think is the easiest path that you can. And because of that, you clearly probably took the path that other things have taken. And you can see that it's pretty well tread, but not flattened. So while you don't find any undead, you don't think that whatever was walking up and down here that was definitely human or humanoid or whatever wasn't like intelligent in the sense that they like flattened it out and made it nice to walk on. It's like lots and lots of things just climbed and went the way you climbed. So you see lots of like chunks of dirt pulled out and things where things have fallen or moved or whatever. You don't find any sign of the undead, but you definitely think that they came this way. Yeah.
Yeah, we would share that with Karzov and Bruce then.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll put you you're on kind of the outer edge of the castle. If you were to follow the wall, you could get to where you suppose that the road once was, and there's like a bit of like an opening where there was probably like there's like a gatehouse there. There's no gate anymore from what you could see. I mean, you saw it from far away, so you could see it was wide open. If you want to enter that way. From this side, the wall looks pretty intact, so you don't see any way to like just go through it. Like it's not rubble. But you could explore around the front towards the sea as well if you want to take time to do that. Or you could just go for that gatehouse. Or I don't think anybody has the ability to really climb like a thief. So climbing up this would be very difficult.
Should we just
deep
stumble
down
in?
do you think wall goes?
Should we just stumble in like the dead? Maybe if we just stumble along, of course, Bruce walks like that all the time, but we could just stumble in and maybe they would think we're more undead coming in.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. What do you think, Karzov?
I was going to suggest I build tunnel under, but I'm good.
Oh,
Well,
but
I reckon that's a great idea. You can burrow underneath it and we can get in there instead of walking in, stumbling around like a blind fella, like
if you
myself.
if you go into a tunnel though and come out into the castle, they are going to hear you and know you are coming though. You will make too much noise, Karzov.
I mean, if we go with your idea, it's fine. It's fine.
Or maybe us three could go, or maybe just me and Gorbash, we could stumble in and you could do yours too, and maybe some of us will surprise them.
Yes, I shall keep up with you with my senses. I shall sense where you walk.
Okay,
And
then.
I shall dig up to get you if I feel anything that's wrong.
Well,
Yes.
I ain't got my eyes, but I'm gonna be following you, Karzov. But
Come,
they
friend,
say
I shall teach you
moles
to
are
see the way I see.
some folks tell me that I'm blind as a mole, but I reckon I'll just follow you then.
Yeah, Karzov is going to take his blind friend, who he sort of sympathizes with, and he's going to dig underground and start teaching him the ways of the mole people.
Yeah, I think
I'm
once
not sure.
Garbash walk in.
Sorry, Tony. I'm not sure that you'd be able to crawl behind him in full plate armor because he's only a little thing. The mold warp is only the size of a dwarf. You're only 4 feet tall. So I don't think somebody in full plate armor is going to be able to crawl behind you very well.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he tries to dig a hole, he says,
Yeah.
"Well, Karzov, the hole that you're digging, it ain't big enough for both of us. I reckon I'll just follow Gorbash and Thirstein."
Very well, friend. Very well. I come if there are any problems.
Okay. You want to tunnel under the ground and follow them? So you're going where they are, or are you going to the wall?
I'm gonna follow them underground.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Tony. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure
That's
that was
fine.
clear.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we'll do this at night. Try to stumble in at night. When if somebody is
Yeah.
watching, they can't really tell if we're dead or not.
Yeah, it's probably the darkest part of the night right now. By the time when you get up there. So if that's your plan, then this is probably a good time to do it.
Yep.
So you're going to do they call that the Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
First thing I thought of.
Yeah. Always a good move. Always a good move. Yeah. So you guys start doing the dragging the foot, and well, I mean, Bruce being so beat up is probably already walking that way, but
He's also
guys,
broken, guys. He's like, "Grr."
Yeah. My wings are all droopy, and I'm just kind of.
I just ain't feeling good, my fellas.
Man. So yeah, you guys start moving, at a slow enough pace so that the Moldward can, so that Karskov can keep up because you only did get 20. So, so you're doing the zombie walk, so you're going slow anyways, and you guys start walking towards that main gate entrance, and yeah, you kind of round the corner and look, and you can see that kind of open area in front of what would be like the keep. Is you can see like rubble from the past, and you can see literally worn in the dirt treads of recent people or something walking through there, but you don't see anything. It looks deserted at this point, but you can see if you walk across this kind of big open courtyard about 60-70 feet, there's a large building in front of you, and there's a big set of doors which are open, actually big double doors open.
Yeah,
I guess you could probably at this point. Okay, yeah. At this point, you can probably just barely see that flicker of the red glow that you had noticed in the towers. You can kind of see it through the doors a little bit. So you're going to make your way across, and you're going to go slow enough that the digging stake can keep up with you. Because I think you could probably, although you're in plate, so you're moving pretty slow anyways. But all right, so you move across that area.
Yeah,
And
Bruce also tells the party members, "Well, what are y'all seeing?" Because he has no idea what you guys are looking at.
Yeah, you're in a big open space.
Your first thing just goes. She looks back at you. She goes, "Shh, we can't talk right now."
We're undead, remember? Shh.
And then he nods, and she goes,
"Undead." All of a sudden, it's become a common. So, Crystal, roll a d6 to see if you can still keep digging, because you're going to start hitting hard soil eventually.
All right. I rolled a 2.
Okay, yeah, so you're still good. You're digging, and the soil it's getting more rockier, but you're still you're a pretty effective digger, so you're able to kind of work your way around it and get through so far. It's definitely getting.
As Karzov is digging, he's singing a song to himself. Dig, dig, dig a hole. Dig, dig, dig a hole.
Oh, you're singing?
Yeah. I'm
Y'all
20 foot underground though.
Y'all hear somebody singing?
Oh, God.
No, you can be singing if you want. I would never stop you from singing if that's what you want to do.
I mean,
All right, cool.
All right.
So yes, you're going through the dirt. Eventually, it's a castle. It's built on pretty solid ground. So eventually, you're going to hit a very strong rock that you won't be able to dig through. But right now, you're still good. Yeah, you're digging. Through the earth, and you can hear them. Dragging their feet up above you. You don't hear anything else above you besides them. So you don't. You imagine they're not getting attacked or ambushed or anything, as far as you can tell. Yeah, so you guys move to that large door, which is mostly open, looks like pushed open. And as you kind of look in, you can see that this large castle area that you would imagine it would be a great hall when you first come in. That's pretty common. But it looks like whoever's in here, which I'll describe in a second, tore down every wall in this place. It's almost like they did a modern renovation to make a single room. This thing looks like a huge single room. They gutted this place. You can just see piles of rubble stacked up on the sides, and you see these huge cauldrons that have a reddish glow coming out of them. And when I say huge, big enough to put They're like 20 foot tall, like big, huge cauldrons. And you see laying on the ground, on its back, a man, I guess is the best way to describe it, except that he's about 20 plus feet tall. And around him are about 10 robed figures that seem to be rubbing or the body or massaging it. And near the head, which is all the way at the other side of the room, you see these like couches that have been made of like pillows and rugs that are stacked up and stuff. And sitting on top of this is this kind of hunched over man in kind of like super elegant robes, but you can't really see him that well. But he's all kind. You can tell he's probably old because he's all like leaning forward, and he seems to be overseeing the operation. Like he's saying things and in a language in words or a language you can't quite make out because of the distance, maybe. And so far, it doesn't seem like he's seen you.
This 20-foot tall guy, though, it's actually a human, or it's humanoid?
I mean, you can't see his face because you're looking at its feet, but it looks like it's probably like a human. Yeah. I mean, as far as you can tell, it has four limbs, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, but the head's way at the other end.
And the body itself, though, shaped like a human?
Yeah, for sure. And it stinks of rot and death in here.
Are they within 40 feet?
Not really, but yeah, it's evil. Oh, it's very evil. It's so evil that, yeah, you can sense it even though it's not within 40 feet. Yeah. This whole place is evil. Everything that's going on, for sure.
And we don't see any of the actual undead, though, the Walking Dead.
You do not see any Walking Dead. You just see this large man that seems to be being like massaged. It's very dim and dark in there, but you don't see, any.
I think Thirstine would she would maybe whisper back to Bruce and go, "Yes, Bruce, it is very, very horrible sense of evil here. We must act now and catch them by surprise. I'm going to use my monster summoning before I die."
Which one?
I'm going all out because I only have 3 HP left, so I'm not going to be around much longer. So I'm going all out and use level 4 monster summoning.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to use the random monster table from level 4, because why not? Because there's no monster summoning BX. All right, let's do it. That's why I have the expert book out. Da-da-da-da.
Ooh,
do you want to roll?
Yeah, I'll roll for what is it, a
right,
D12?
Cool. Let me see. I think it's a D20, but let me just check. Let's see. Monster level 4. Yeah, it's D20. Holy crap.
All right, here we go. 5.
Oh, cockatrice. 1 to 4 cockatrice. So roll a D4 to see how many. Holy shit, cockatrice is pretty good. 2. All right. So 2 cockatrice are coming. I'm not sure where they come from. It doesn't really say. You take your top hat off. You pull the cockatrice up. No, you start to call them, and you can hear these these chickens, like cockatrice like chickens. Basically, are they in this book or are they in the basic book? Yeah, they're like chickens with snake tails, right? And they turn people to stone by scratching them. That's a cockatrice. Right? Do I know my monsters? Yep,
that is
Sounds
it.
right. Yep.
Oh hell yeah! Skull magical monster with head,
Nice.
wings, and legs of a rooster, tail of a serpent. Oh hell yeah! Okay, so 2 of these bad boys are coming. I'm gonna say, let's say a D4 rounds before it arrives. So roll a D4.
That's awesome.
Oh, this is one I need low.
Yep.
Hot dog 1.
Okay, so they're coming. You actually hear them like flap, 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 and they're like coming in. They have pretty good fly speed. Do you have the book so you know their stats, or do you want me to send them to you?
Are they in the B or the X book?
They're an expert on page 29.
All right. Yep. I will
Yeah, you can just run them. Yeah, because you have total control, so you can run them. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, I
because
guess
I'll need to in a minute because I won't be around much longer.
Okay. So these things are coming. Anything else anybody wants to do in this like first moment before anything happens, before anything goes down? Because I'm about to roll whether they don't say to see you again. So
My character just replies, "Thirstine, I think I hear some chicken."
They're on our side.
I'm just gonna smile and say, well, if I'm gonna go out, it's gonna be with taking a lot of these guys with me. That's what I'm kind of gonna say to myself.
Well, Gorbash, wee, the place just brightened up all in red. I can see them evil fellas and ahead of us.
Yeah, somehow you can like all of a sudden like you have that like that evil sense in combat sense where all of a sudden you're just like now it's like Daredevil for a second. You like enemies. The giant man that's laying on the ground is definitely very evil. All the people around, everything in the room is evil except for you guys. So let's see. Okay, so at the sound of the two cartridges flying in, the man sitting on this kind of improvised throne or couch or whatever looks up, and you can see that his face is kind of ragged and old and kind of scarred. And he looks, and his eyes squint a little bit, and he kind of raises up a little bit, and then he says, "You're here just in time to watch the end of the world." And let's roll initiative. Let's have Tony roll.
Oh man, let me be the doom of us.
Your cockatrices are coming in.
4.
4 for them too. Ooh, simultaneous initiative. All right. So you guys can all go, and then they just, if you kill anything, they'll still just be up. So just for relative space, like you could probably get to the people that are like massaging the giant that's laying on the ground this round. If you wanted to get all the ways to the dude at the end, that would take a whole, like, it'll be like 2 rounds to get to him because he's way at the other end.
Is the giant guy 60 foot within 60 foot of me?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna start at the top to make life easy for me. Gorbash, which one do?
I want to get to the giant guy in my barbaric rage. I know it'll take a little more time, but I want to try and
No,
get
it's fine. You can get to its foot. You're gonna go attack the giant's foot.
I am. Yes.
All right, yeah, go for it. Do it.
Okay.
And it's the first attack, right? So you get +4 as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna try to go into that rage.
Okay.
13 plus 4, 17. So I hit 0.
Oh yeah.
Okay. 3. 2 plus 1. 6. 18 points of damage.
Oh, okay, yeah. 18 points of damage.
3 hits.
Yeah, I will say you run at this thing. It's it's just laying there. And you're just like, and you basically hack its foot off. It doesn't seem to move, but the people that are massaging it kind of stick like at this fairy that like runs at them. Karzov, you hear running above you.
Okay. Yeah. So can I still dig around in this area?
Yeah, well, you could dig up if you'd like. If you want to come up onto the floor.
Well, do I feel any enemy footsteps or any new footsteps I haven't known before?
You just hear the only thing that's moving currently is the ferry running across the floor. That's all you hear. Yeah, you just hear one set of footsteps running. They're about 20 feet above you.
Yeah, he wants to dig like up, but he wants to dig up to like just below the surface, like maybe about 5 foot or so, if he can, and try to just like stay there for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. So you dig up, and actually, what you realize, that's actually a good move, because when you dig up to 5 feet, you actually hit the solid slabs of the building. You can't get through them. Okay. So you're under them, but you can't get through what's above you right now. 13.
Is the old man on the couch within 60 feet?
He is not.
Can I move?
He's more like 90-ish.
Can I move and get within 60 feet and use my wand on him?
Yeah, you can move and use a wand. Sure.
Yeah, I want to move and get within where I'm 60 feet from him. I'm going to use my wand of fear on them.
Oh, nice. Cool.
And if there's anybody else that's 30 foot wide, so if there's anybody within 30 foot wide width around him, it will get them too.
Yeah, holy cow. Okay,
I'll say make a save versus wands, or they run away.
So I'll do him first. He got an 11, but he probably has pretty good saves. Let's see. No, he runs. He actually fails.
Yeah, it says they have to move 3 times their movement for 30 rounds.
30 rounds.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. He gets up. He doesn't move very fast because he's an old man. He's like, well, this is pretty scary. And he starts running. Let me check the other guys. The other guy's got a 14. A 14 actually succeeds. So I just rolled a bunch for the group. So all the massaging guys, they're not scared. But the old guy gets up. He's just like, peace. And he starts running. Holy shit, 3 times his movement for 30 rounds. He's gone. So 30 rounds.
We'll never see him
10
again.
turns. The 30 rounds is 3 turns. Okay, so that's important. Okay. Yeah, he's booting. Unless somebody chases him, he's basically gone. Awesome. Good move. And Bruce.
Bruce is gonna fight very cautiously. He's gonna stay within 40 foot of his fellas, but is he also able to attack any of them? Are they?
Yeah, I mean,
in
currently,
range?
basically, what's happened is Gorbash and Thirstine have moved up basically to where the foot of the giant is.
Okay.
Gorbash cut the giant's foot off. Thirstine used her wand to blossom people. There's about 10 of these massaging guys up there, and you're basically standing by yourself right now. Yeah, if you want to go up to where they are, then you would be able to fight those guys. And there's two Gokris coming in.
Where he is right now, I mean, is he still within 40 foot of Gorbash and Karzov?
Yeah,
Or,
just
Thirstine. Okay, all right.
Thirstine.
He's actually gonna stay there.
Lancaster.
He's gonna, bring up his shield and say, "The mighty shield of light, protect my fellas." And
Okay.
basically, he's gonna get ready.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's a good move. You don't take that damage, right? It just goes away.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That would suck when you only have a few hit points left. Although, it's dramatic. Yeah. Well, it says absorb. All right, I'll just say it just destroys it. I'll let you have that because I'm so nice. I'm the nicest GM ever. God, why am I so nice? Okay, so these 10 guys go. So I'm gonna do my thing that I do. I'm gonna put 5. So they all run forward. So 5 are gonna attack Thirstine and 5 are gonna attack Gorbash.
Okay.
And I'll do the thing. I'm just gonna make 1 roll at plus. That's how I'm doing this now. Which actually isn't that 5e hardcore we're talking about. So basically I do 1 roll at +5 for them instead of doing 5 rolls. So against Gorbash. Oh, they only rolled a 5, which is a 10, which probably doesn't hit you. A 10 only hits armor class 9. That
Nope.
does not hit you. And against Thirstine,
Mhm.
13 plus 5 is 18. That will hit you because you don't have any armor on. Right? I'm going to look.
That's
That'll
right,
definitely hit you. All right. I think you're going down. So they do a D4 plus 5. So they do 7.
That'll put me at -4.
Yeah.
How many of them landed hit on Thirstine?
Oh, right. That's a good question. Let me do it this way. 2 of them. So we'll see. 1 did 2 and the other did 5 points.
So would I be able to block those damages?
Yeah, but it would count as 2 blocks.
So Thirstine doesn't take any damage on those, right?
That's right. And that counts as 2 of your blocks. Good use of your
All
skill.
right. Perfect.
Yeah. So you these things are magically shielded from hitting you. I forgot. So I'll just have to go. Now you have the 2 cockatrices that just flew in if you want to have them attack as well.
Yeah, when they come in, I'm just going to I'm going to send them to some of the cultist
Okay.
guys.
So go ahead and make a couple of attacks. Holy crap, these things are good. I mean, it is like you did max out, I guess.
Yeah, one of them will hit armor class 0, and the other one's going to hit armor class 8.
8 misses. No, I'm sorry. No, 8 hits them. Yeah, I'm looking at the cockatrice armor class.
All right, the one that hit 8 will take 1 point of damage and has to make a save versus turn to stone, and the other one will take max damage of 6.
Okay. All right. So first that one dies, but let's do the turn to stone guy. He rolled a 9. That's gonna fail, I'm sure. He's a first level magic user, so he's gonna he turns to stone. So 1 dies and the other one turns to stone.
All right.
Let me just keep track of this. So he's dead. Well, they're both dead. I mean, I was going to cross them out as being dead. If you want to keep track of the turn to stone, that's fine. So yeah, these cockroaches come down and one guy turns to stone and the other one gets his eyes ripped out. And there's that like weird moment where maybe Bruce is feeling something through that. The old guy is running like hell.
13 coming through.
3, 4, 5, 6.
So you
7,
thought
8,
magic users are useless.
That's right.
I never said that.
Magic users are the most badass, especially when you get high level. All right, so that's the end of that round, right? Because they all went and you all went, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. So next round, Tony, roll initiative.
All right.
5 on their side.
6.
Oh, all right. Gorbash.
Well, I'm going to try to swing at one of the cultists that's on me.
Okay. You don't want to attack the giant's foot again?
Not if I have people on me. I'd probably turn to try to get them off me. Oh, that was fun. 13 plus 2, 15, so I hit armor class 2.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Just get the 1, 5, 7 points of damage on one of the
Yeah,
guys.
dead. Yeah, dead.
And I'll just be smiling away and laughing.
Karskov.
Karzov is gonna. Okay, so using the tunnel below him, or first, what he wants to do is basically put his hand on this plate, on this stone plate that he can feel, and he's gonna like tink on it with his claw, and he wants to feel which direction it goes. That's the shortest, because he figures that's where he'll be able to dig up at.
Well, you won't be able to dig up through any of this because it's basically a stone floor. It's all like
No, but I'm saying he wants to see if he can feel where the stone floor ends, like which direction is the least amount of stone floor, so he can dig that way.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to tell that from underneath the ground because if you're banging, you're only going to get echo in the space that you're in.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so in that case, using the tunnel that he crawled in, like if he was digging north, he would have taken note of that. So he'll turn like just straight to the east, and he's going to start digging where he's at. Probably full speed, as fast as he can. Not worried if he hit the plate or not, because he's trying to find where the plate will end so that he can find a place to dig up.
Okay, so you're going deeper into it?
No. Well, basically, if I'm pointing north, I'm going to point to the east.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start digging straight east, trying to find the edge of the plate.
Okay, you can do that. Well, let me just figure this out.
And I can dig 20 foot a turn, but I won't be digging as fast as I can. So.
Yeah, I mean, 20 foot a turn, that's...
Or 20 foot around, or whatever. Or, yeah.
Is it a round or a turn? Because a turn is super slow.
I'm pretty
Can't
sure
be
it's
a turn.
around. Let me make sure again. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was around. I think I just said turn by mistake. 20 foot per round.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So you dig 20 feet, you're still under the ground. You're still under the floor, the first round. I'll move you on the map for me. Okay, good, nice. Thirteen, you've got 5 or 4 massage therapists on you.
Yeah, she's going to look at all of them in her eyes, and her hands start turning with flames in them, and her eyes do, and she says, "Leave. You work for me now. Leave this place. I'm going to use the take control and try to take control of all of them because I can take up to 8 HD."
Don't they have to be animals or monsters?
Well, it says creatures. I mean, I was going to leave that up to you.
Yeah, I don't. These are people. So I'm going to say no. I mean, I think that would need to be. I mean, and you would know that, so I wouldn't make you waste it. But I think creature is more like monster because these are like literally dudes.
Yeah, well, she'll knowing that, then she will use her wand of fear on them again.
Yeah, or let me just look at it to make sure. But that does sound like a good idea. But I just want to make sure I don't want to like chip you out of it. But I think the nature
it says creatures. I mean, that's it's the word.
Yeah,
generic creatures.
yeah, exactly. But that stuff's not so exacting. It's just that the nature of the summoner is that you can't summon monsters, not
Right.
people. That's, you know. Seize control. No, it says monsters. Once per day, you can attempt to seize control of monsters within 40 feet. The creatures must make a save. So it does say monsters. So I'm going to say no because it says monsters.
Yep, that's fine.
Yep.
She'll use the wand of fear on those.
Okay.
The whole cone of them that's in front of her. Then.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, well, on 15, I think they make that again because wasn't there shade 14? These guys are not scared.
I believe that's right.
Yeah.
Then.
Damn it. Okay, yeah. You blast these guys again, they are not afraid.
All right.
They're like, we're not afraid. Just like that. That's what they say.
And she'll stick the cockatrices on 2 more of them then.
Now they're afraid.
Be afraid.
Oh man,
Right.
they're both probably going. I'm sure they both will hit. One of them's like armor class 2, and the other one will be armor class 6.
Yeah, their AC is 8. So
The one that took the highest, the armor class 2 will take 2 points of damage.
okay.
And the other one will take 6 damage on it.
Okay, let me just roll this guy's hit points. Okay, so the 2 is not dead. But this guy is, and he has to make a save. The one that didn't die. And I think he fails again. Let's see, petrification. Should probably make a note of what it is. He needs a 13. He rolled an 11. Okay, so one of them again gets torn to pieces, and the other one turns to stone.
Turn to stone, baby.
2 more down. Wow. Okay, that's a good monster. How long are they good for? D4 plus your level.
Let me look again real quick.
Is that what it was? You said it, but then I didn't actually roll it.
Oh, monster summoning. It doesn't say. It doesn't give
okay.
you-
I'm gonna say then, like most spells, it'd be one turn per level. So you got plenty of time.
All right.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, they're gonna stick around for a long time. This is basic, where spells are super powerful. Awesome. Bruce.
Bruce Dane, he comes into the range with his sword drawn, with his shield up, and he says, "I see all evil bastards," and then he swings at one of them and gets a natural 20.
Yes.
So
It
upon
is.
natural 20,
Yeah.
it activates a righteous blow on natural 19 and 20 chaotic or evil enemies under his HD must make a saving throw versus death or die.
Nice.
Awesome.
Let's kick some
9.
butt.
I think that's gonna fail. Let me just take a check just to make sure. Yeah,
wait,
9
he
fails. Oh,
Ooh,
you come in
nice.
and just you hit one and do, like his blackened soul shatters.
Nice. He also does 7 points of damage if he survived,
Right.
by the way.
So his blackened soul shatters and you cut him in half.
Nice.
Nice. That was awesome. So there's only 4 of them left. I'm actually gonna make a morale check, even though they're kind of psychos. Oh, they're gonna stay. Okay, so here we go. The first guy is going to. Nope, that's useless. So he won't do that. He'll just attack. They all have spells. I just didn't roll for them. I figured I'd do it at the time of the thing. Nope, that's a useless spell as well. I mean, for what's going on. No spell is useless, but useless for now. Nope, also not very useful. 3, that's this, 11. Oh, okay. This guy, the one guy over there, he's going to reach forward and he's going to throw sand out in the air, casting a sleep spell. So you're all 4th level though. So he's going to target one person, I guess. It's only word. You know what I'll do just for this? Everybody's standing there. So that's Gorbash, Karzov, and Thirstein. All roll a d6, and whoever gets the lowest number, that's who he's targeting.
Out of 5.
Or
3.
All right, you run forward and chop this guy in half, and then you're just like, ooh, and you fall asleep.
I feel like something went in my eyes, but I don't have eyes. That's the last thing that you hear him say before he falls asleep.
You're like laying on the ground. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so sleep spell affects you, and you drop. Okay. Other guy's running. You know, Giant's probably not happy that he doesn't have a foot, but he's not really doing anything. He's just laying there. He stinks. And that's the end of that round. So next round. Initiative, Tony.
Oh, come on.
1 for them.
A 1. I had a 2. Thank goodness. Then.
Nice. All
I
right.
thought, oh no.
Yep, Gorbash.
All right. I still have a couple on me, right?
Yep, there's 2 on you and 2 on.
All right.
13.
We'll try to take some more out. Ooh, no, I missed.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's not gonna hit you. Are you still moving, Karskov?
I am.
Okay, you move another 20. You still haven't found the edge of it.
Okay.
Thirsteen.
She's first going to there's how many left on her too?
Yeah, there's like 4 total. You guys are all fighting near their feet. So, but there's 2 that are on you specifically.
Yeah, she's gonna try to target those two since none of her
Okay.
allies are close with that wand again.
Okay. Oh, they passed the save again. Jeez,
Man.
they've been rolling super low except for that save. Like this one group of guys is like been blasted 3 times. They're just like, it doesn't work, Frank. Come on, what are you doing?
Well, I'll stick the two cockatrices on them then. Ooh, one of them rolled a natural 1, so he will miss. The other one rolled a 17 and max damage again, 6.
All right, so it's dead. I probably should be rolling the saving throw anyways, just to see if they turn to stone. Oh no, actually passed. Okay, so yeah, so 3 have got like slaughtered by cockatrices and 2 have turned to stone. This guy somehow fends it off, and we're down to Bruce, who's asleep, so you really can't do much. So there's 2 now on our Gorbash. So that's a 17, which is going to hit you because you're not really wearing armor. And they're a D4 plus 2. Ooh, 6 points.
6 points. Still up. Still up.
Nice. All right. So the massage therapist bash into you, but you're able to fight them off. And then the one that's on, actually, he's fighting a cockatrice. He's not even going to attack you, Thirsty. There's a cockatrice on him. There's no way to go after you. He swings the cockatrice wildly and misses. Okay. That's the end of that round. So into the next round. Roll initiative.
Oh, I got a 1 this time.
Well, they got a 2 that time, actually, by 2.
Huh.
Same thing. That guy's going to try to block the cockatrice again. He rolled a 1.
Wow.
He kind of slips back on all the blood that's from. Actually, there's no blood that came out of the giant's foot. I guess I probably should have said that. 2 of them try to attack Gorbash. Ooh, with a 15. That hits AC 4, so that hits you.
Yep, that's me.
And this could be the end of Gorbash.
Yep.
3 points.
3 points. I have 2 points left.
Oh.
Nice, Gorbash is doing it. Make it to the end. You mean you have 2 points left now? You did not only have 2 points left.
Yeah, no, I had 5. Yeah, because I rolled
Okay,
really
good,
high
yeah,
my
good.
hit points. Yeah.
All right, yeah, nice. Okay, that's it.
Oh,
And they successfully
spider.
passed the morale twice, so they're never running. They're going to fight to the death. So
Wake
your
me
turn,
up,
Gorbash.
guys.
Gorbash.
There's one
Oh,
on me.
sorry.
Right?
There is a spider crawling next to me. I'm just watching him for now. Like in real life.
Gross.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't spin a web and trap you. Your turn, though.
Okay, going. Gonna swing at one of the guys. What do I got left to lose? 14 plus 2, 16. So I hit armor class 1.
That hits.
Okay. 6 points of damage.
Dead.
Okay.
He's still digging, Korskov?
What Karkaz is going to do is what he should have done last time. He's actually going to turn to the south and dig that way because he knows that's like basically the way they came in.
Okay. Fair enough. You do that. And Thirsteen.
There's one cultist on me and one on Gorbash, right?
That's correct.
I'm going to send one cockatrice to attack the one on Gorbash and one of them to try to attack the one that's on me then. And she's not going to do anything else right now.
Okay.
The one on me will hit with a 17. For goodness, these dice are doing good. 6 damage if it's still
All right,
up.
kills him.
The one on Gorbash will hit with an 18 on the die and do 5 damage.
All right, dead. Let's see if he turns to stone. Just as interesting. That one turns to stone. The other one did not. All right, yeah. All of them are either stoned or dead, or a little bit of both. The other guy is still. He's like,
gone.
yeah, I mean, that's a long time. He's been running for half an hour. So, and he's old, so that's not good for him.
And since Bruce is blind, and he can't
Yeah.
see, I'm going to send one of the cockatrices over to peck him on the nose and wake him up.
Doesn't that turn him to stone?
No,
No,
it's scratching his head.
Okay.
I'm just doing as a.
Yeah. Although it doesn't. I'm curious what it actually says in the book, but I just have pulled the thing up from the Essentials. It just says hit by, but I think it's technically their scratch that does it.
You'd have to make a.
Well, actually, no. It says beak. Yeah. Yeah. Make a save versus. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. You get woken up by a chicken.
Make a save, Young. I'm curious if you'd pass. Make a save versus turn to stone.
I guess he failed.
That must be that must not be a good sign.
Yep,
Bruce?
He would wake up.
Did you make your save?
Oh, wait, no. Hold on. What do I need?
Save this.
Save versus
turn
turn to stone. Yeah.
Oh man. Paralysis. Is it paralysis or death?
Yep.
Yeah.
Death?
No paralysis.
Paralysis. I failed.
Oh.
Okay. So maybe not knowing the full extent of the cockatrice's power, or maybe knowing, who knows? Thirstein sends the. Oh man. Yeah. So your turn to stone. And a few, a minute or so later, in the front of the castle, you hear the ground pop open, I guess, and the mole man comes up. So you reach the surface. Carson.
He takes the edge of the building and starts running towards the way he knows the footprints were coming from before.
Yeah, so you make your way over and you see the battle seems to be finished. Not sure how, but Bruce has been turned to stone. There's a giant creature with a foot missing, and about 6 dead massage therapists and 4 that have been turned to stone in the room.
I'm here. I'm here. I had to go right there. Oh, hold on.
Thirstein will look at you, Karzov, and she will go, well, Bruce fell asleep on us, and I tried to get one of my friends to wake him up, but I guess he wanted to have eternal sleep because he turned to stone. But do you think maybe you and Gorbash can, if he's not too heavy, I guess you could carry him back, and maybe we can find somebody that could turn him back to, his normal blind self one day.
We can certainly try. He's pretty big, but yeah, I could try.
They're both tiny. A 4-foot tall mole man and a 3.5-foot tall barbarian are carrying a full-size man statue.
A full statue, yeah.
Luckily, he's laying down.
Can I look at the giant? I mean,
Yeah, of course.
Does he look like any?
He looks putrid, and the flesh on him seems to be rotten.
Is he still moving and stuff? Still like?
No, still.
Oh.
The giant's never moved.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I thought
maybe
he
the
did
barbarian
look
killed it
like
with
it.
his awesome foot attack.
Right.
It's not moving at all. It's just laying there. I mean, you would look at it, actually, with the book, especially because you studied that book, you would realize that this flesh that's on this thing has been reshaped from corpses.
And I don't see Gaspard anywhere around. He's not in one of these cult roads.
No, you don't see Gaspard. You want to look for him?
Yeah, I would start looking for him.
All right. Make it roll a d6.
4.
Okay, perfect. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So yeah, you search around. It takes a while. I mean, I'm not sure what everybody else is doing, if they're helping, or if you guys want to say you did something else. We can talk about that in a second. But it takes you about 40 minutes, roughly. So the old guy probably stopped running by now. And you find you go down some stairs into kind of a dungeony area that's, because most of this place has been wiped out. So you find a chamber that goes down, and at the bottom there's an oubliette, and you pull the cover away, and you look down and you can see your friend is beaten and muddy, and at the bottom of this pit, kind of sitting in water. It looks like he's got some kind of he's got a dagger. He turns with a dagger when he sees you with the light. He doesn't recognize you right away because he's like blinded down there. It looks like he's been trying to dig his way out, to some success, because actually you can kind of see just a little speckle of light, like he was basically getting ready to tunnel his way out. When you open the thing, and I guess I'm assuming you're gonna let him out.
Yeah, she will go. Oh, Gaspard, I have found you. I could tell from the magics that and stuff that speaking to someone on another plane, I found out that you had headed this way. We come to figure out what was going on. I have something I don't know if you can help me with, but I have a companion that come with me that I tried to help him. He was asleep, and unfortunately, I used one of my creatures that helped me. Unfortunately, turned him to stone. Is there any way you can help us, and we will get you back to safety also?
Sorry about that. Where's everybody else? Did you guys follow to help, or are you guys doing something else during this period of time?
I would have followed probably.
Okay.
I'll help.
Yeah, so you guys can
there for the battle. That's the least I can do.
Bruce just lays there.
Yep.
Yeah, see, if you're down there talking to him, when you pull him up, he seems to almost not be paying attention, maybe from exhaustion or whatever, and he kind of looks at you and he says, did it happen? Has the beast risen? The necromancer, he's trying to put his soul into a giant. And he kind of like looks around like, did it happen? Where is it?
We were able to stop it. We arrived in time.
I mean, even if he had done it, the giant wouldn't have been able to walk very far.
How did you stop it?
We killed the massage therapist, and put the fear into the necromancer. And the last time we saw him, he was running away.
Oh. And then he looks down, he's thinking. And then you all hear a smashing sound as a giant is trying to stand up, but only has 1 foot. And you hear some fumbling. Maybe you hear the sound of Bruce's body sliding across the floor like a hockey puck. And then you just hear like the sound of like tearing at the walls. And Gaspard looks and he says, it's risen. When the necromancer dies, his soul enters the giant. He must have killed himself. And he kind of gets like up, and he has his dagger. He looks pretty beat up, but he starts heading towards the where the giant was.
Can I send the cockatrices home since they're still?
They're gone because they only stay for 40 minutes, and it's been now 50.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's why I had you roll. Like they literally just left. I mean, you could though. That's why I was like, oh, let's see how long this takes. Yeah, literally the giant. I'll explain it when we get to that. So yeah, so he chases out, and when you get to the top there, assuming you follow him, whatever, you see the thing is moving slowly because it's missing a foot, out into the valley and towards through the woods. So whether or not you want to chase it, that's up to you. But I guess maybe that's something for another story. So let's maybe wrap there, and we'll see what the future holds for the rest of these characters. So we can do the. Gorbash, how does this end for Gorbash? I just see the 1-footed giant walking off.
Well, Gorbash is dedicated to bludgeoning evil into the ground wherever he can. So after he rests up, he makes it his life goal to follow the giant and finish what he started in the castle. So, but he has to get rested up first.
Excellent. How about Karskov?
Karzov, yeah, I mean he'll he was really looking forward to going to his home world, but he made this commitment with his companions already. So he'll follow the barbarian and his other other companions as long as they will. He'll gladly pay to whatever it takes to have their friend that was made of stone brought back to flesh again. Whatever treasures they find in that temple afterwards, his cut of it, he'll gladly pay to do that.
Okay. How about Thirstein?
Christine had seen the giant walk off, knowing that's a challenge they will have to face at some point. But her main concern is the blind guardian who she was trying to help, and unfortunately, in the heat of battle, made a fateful mistake. But she sits over in a corner and she starts murmuring to herself, and she says, "Yes, I will call my friends to come and help me. We will take Bruce's body back and do what it takes. And I'm going to conjure animals and call some black bears to come haul his body back to town and get him
Nice.
turned back to who he is.
Excellent.
And after we get that done, that she would join the rest of them, hopefully, and maybe chasing the giant down, I guess.
So, Bruce, the last thing you remembered was walking up to fight some foes, become very tired, and then you wake up in a temple with your buddies around you, kind of looking concerned as your body reforms back to flesh. So, how does this end for Bruce Stain?
So Bruce Stain, the mild-mannered merchant who lost his family to brigands, who tore out his eyes in grief, who swore vengeance against evildoers, who for 2 years fought evil to return to his hometown, fell asleep, turned to a statue, and became covered in pigeon poop. So by the time that he wakes up, he looks at you guys and says, why am I covered in pigeon poop? And that's how my character's arc ends for this particular adventure.
Nice, excellent. So yeah, so the giant maybe is slain by you in the future, and I guess that's something we'll have to find out in the future.